Welcome to the Deep Dive, where we take your sources and really try to unearth the most fascinating insights. Today, we're embarking on something a bit different, a truly unique deep dive into a personal case study. We've received a series of questions from a listener, originally from Laos but living in France, about their family's journey, their struggles, their spiritual path, all viewed through the lens of a specific Buddhist tradition's understanding of wisdom and, karma.
Yeah, and what's fascinating here is how this listener's journey, moving across continents, seeking this deeper spiritual understanding, it really illustrates the intricate connections they talk about between, well, past actions and present realities. We'll explore the specific questions they've posed about their family members' destinies, their challenges, and the detailed karmic explanations provided within this particular spiritual framework. It's quite something.
Exactly. So today, our mission for you is to unpack these detailed life events, understand the underlying karmic principles at play as presented here, and see how this ancient wisdom offers guidance for navigating complex family dynamics, personal spiritual quests. Okay, let's dive right into this listener's compelling story. So our listener, a Lao national, lived in France for, 29 years, working for a car rental company, and he always felt this deep-seated desire, apparently, to practice Buddhism more seriously. He and his wife, she was a cashier at a five-star hotel. They found that, just making merit sometimes or listening to Dharma talks, reading books, it wasn't quite hitting the mark for them. They yearned for something, deeper, a more engaged practice.
And that brings up a really common question for a lot of spiritual seekers, doesn't it? How do you actually find the right path when you're searching so deeply? In this case, after looking in many places across Thailand, it seems like a chance encounter, really. A taxi driver, who happened to be a former ordinand of Wat Phra Dhammakaya, he recommended this specific temple. Now, for those with a strong spiritual inclination, this kind of meeting, well, within this tradition, it's often described as a merit-driven event.
Merit-driven, okay.
Seen as a direct result of, accumulated good deeds from past lives, guiding them there, not just coincidence.
Right. And what happened when they got to the temple, that really captivated them. They were deeply impressed, especially by a program called the Dream in a Dream Kindergarten.
Yes, and its approach to teaching Buddhist principles. They use these case studies.
Case studies, like real-life examples.
Exactly. Detailed explanations of the law of karma presented as clear, easy to grasp, and profoundly logical. And this just resonated so much with the listener.
So much so that he committed to daily viewing of the temple's TV channel, DMC.
Yeah.
And even started making merit for a brick-making fund at, get this, 3:00 a.m. Paris time.
Wow. That's 9:30 a.m. Thai time.
Yeah, and during sleepiness, just for his spiritual practice. That's real dedication.
It certainly is.
So having found this path, this unique approach, our listener brought forward some deeply personal questions, the kind of questions many of us might think about. What happens to our loved ones after they pass away? And in this particular case study, the answers provided were, remarkably specific about his deceased family members.
Absolutely. And within this framework, the destinies described for these individuals, they vividly illustrate the direct consequences of accumulated merit, or mun, and demerit, bap bin. Let's start with the listener's father-in-law. He was a Vietnamese bank manager who lived in Laos. A heavy smoker, apparently a pack a day, and he passed away at 72 from heart disease while in France.
Okay. And what did the case study say about his afterlife?
According to the case study, his spirit is still near his daughter in France, described as a fumthiva.
A funthiva. What does that mean in this context?
It refers to a type of earth deity or perhaps a guardian spirit. They're typically tied to this realm by strong attachments, lingering desires. His strong longing for his daughter is said to be the reason she frequently dreams of him. He's sort of stuck nearby because of that attachment.
Fascinating. Such detail. What about his mother-in-law? Did her life lead to a different outcome?
A very different outcome, yes. She passed away at 70, just from old age. She was known for being kind-hearted, a regular temple-goer, always making merit, generously helping relatives. Real pillar of support.
So a life focused on positive actions.
Exactly. And the result? She was reborn as a female deity, a devata, in what they call Dawadung heaven, specifically Phase 3.
The Ween Heaven Phase 3. Can you unpack that a bit?
Sure. Dawadum heaven is a celestial realm, a specific level of heaven in this tradition's cosmology. Think of it as a place of great happiness and reward. And Phase 3 denotes a particular level of attainment and enjoyment within that realm. So it confirms her consistent Buddhist practice really bore significant fruit. Great happiness.
That's quite a contrast to the father-in-law. Now, his own father's story. That sounds particularly poignant. Imprisoned during national unrest in Laos, committed suicide in jail. The listener became an orphan at just 2 years old. That's rough.
Extremely difficult. And suicide in this framework typically leads to lower, less fortunate realms of existence.
Right. So what happened in his case?
Well, despite the act of suicide, his past Buddhist merit accumulated in previous lives or earlier in that life, it apparently held him up. It prevented him from falling into those lower realms. Instead, he was reborn, like the father-in-law, as a Phumthiva, an earthbound spirit but in a village back in Laos.
So still earthbound, but not in a lower realm despite the suicide.
Correct. That past merit acted as a kind of safety net. Initially, he was described as being very worried about his children, but became less so after seeing, somehow sensing, his wife's positive rebirth, even though he didn't know exactly where she went.
Interesting. And his mother?
Yeah.
The one who raised him alone.
She raised the listener with support from her brother. And, like the mother-in-law, she was very charitable. She often observed upasatha precepts. Those are additional moral guidelines lay Buddhists might take on, usually on specific holy days.
Okay, so she was also devout.
Very. The listener felt he absorbed many good things from her. She died at 60 from uterine cancer. And again, like the mother-in-law, her accumulated merit led to a positive rebirth. She became a female deity, a devata, also in Dawajum heaven, phase 3.
Wow, both mothers ending up in the same positive state.
Enjoying happiness, free from worry. It really highlights the power of consistent good deeds in this view. And this leads us right into the core of the case study, really. The specific karmic explanations for the suffering happening now within the family. The study delves into particular past actions and tries to show their precise effects in this current life.
Okay, like what?
Well, take the listener's father's suicide in prison. That was linked directly back to a past life. In that life, he was apparently a corrupt district officer who intentionally misjudged a case. He wrongly imprisoned an innocent person.
Oh, dear.
And that innocent person ended up committing suicide while in jail.
So the exact same fate befell him in this life.
According to the case study, yes. A direct karmic consequence, echoing across lifetimes. His own past action led to his own tragic end.
That's incredibly specific.
Yeah.
And the listener becoming an orphan at 2. How do they explain that karmically?
That was attributed to the listener's own past karma. Not his father's, but his. In a previous life, apparently he had a very hot temper, argued fiercely with his own father, and actually ran away from home wishing, in anger that he didn't have a father.
Wow. So that wish, that action.
That past intention and action, the case study suggests, manifested directly as him being orphaned so early in this life, a direct result of his own past volition.
It's a stark reminder, isn't it, that the consequences aren't always immediate. They can ripple out in really unexpected ways, according to this view. So what does this mean for you, the listener, dealing with this knowledge? How do you address these kinds of deep karmic inheritances?
Well, the guidance provided is quite clear. Make all kinds of merit, consistently. Generosity, morality, meditation, the whole spectrum. And crucially, dedicate that merit specifically to his past parents.
Okay, dedication is key.
Yes. And beyond that, he should form a strong aspiration, a specific wish to meet parents with right view in future lives.
Right view, meaning?
Meaning parents who understand and practice Buddhist principles correctly, according to this tradition, and specifically to be born within a Dhammakaya family, a family that practices and supports this specific lineage. That focused intention is seen as vital for shaping better future relationships and circumstances.
It really emphasizes the power of intention alongside action. Now, this next part about the son's ailments, this is where the connection between past actions and present suffering gets incredibly vivid, particularly around alcohol karma.
Yes, this is a major focus. The listener's second son, 25 years old, suffers from a nervous system disorder, paranoia, and needs psychiatric care.
A serious condition.
Very serious. And this is directly attributed in the case study to past life alcohol consumption. Specifically, a pattern where he would get drunk and then habitually get into quarrels and fights. Aggressive drunkenness.
Okay, so the aggression linked to the drinking is key there. What about the youngest son?
The youngest son, 18 years old, he experienced brain dysfunction, memory loss, changes in speech after a trip. He now prefers just staying home, sleeping a lot.
And doctors suspected a parasite.
Initially, yes. But the case study clarifies, not a parasite. It's the result of a different type of past life alcohol karma. In his case, he would get drunk but wouldn't bother anyone. He'd just become quiet, sleepy, and eventually fall asleep. Non-aggressive drunkenness.
Wow, that's That's incredibly nuanced. So even the type of behavior while drunk is seen to have distinct karmic results.
Exactly. Different patterns of misuse leading to different specific neurological or behavioral issues in the present life. It's strikingly precise.
So for both sons, despite the different past behaviors and present symptoms, what's the recommended path forward?
The solution offered is consistent. Make all kinds of merit continuously, nonstop effort, and dedicate that merit specifically to anyone they might have harmed in the past, known or unknown.
Okay, so again, merit-making and dedication.
Yes. This diligent merit-making is described as literally the only way to alleviate or potentially heal their conditions over time. And there's another interesting point here. It explains that the merit they accumulate now, well, it has to be spent counteracting these negative karmic effects.
Spent, as in used up.
Used up, yes. Merit that might otherwise have gone towards, say, future wealth, good fortune, or even spiritual attainment now has to be diverted to basically pay off this old karmic debt from the alcohol misuse.
So it highlights how karmically expensive, or as they put it, wasteful it can be to undo self-inflicted harm.
Precisely. It really underscores the importance of mindful action, especially avoiding harmful behaviors like excessive drinking in the first place. The cost to undo it is high. The listener's questions also went beyond his family's issues, extending to his own spiritual path, his future aspirations. It shows a real commitment to deepening his practice.
Right, he wanted to understand his own journey better.
Exactly. Like, why did he find this temple and this specific path relatively late in life, despite always having this deep interest in Buddhism?
That's a good question. What was the explanation?
The explanation provided goes back to a previous life again. In that life, he and his wife were apparently provisioners for the spiritual community.
Provisioners, meaning they supported the group.
Yes, they offered material support, food, resources, things like that, very meritorious actions. But their aspirations, the wishes they made after making that merit, were described as not thorough or not specific enough.
Ah, so the intention piece again.
Exactly. They didn't clearly specifically aspire or wish to meet and practice with this particular group from a young age in their next life. So because the aspiration wasn't sharp enough, they connected later in this life, not earlier.
That really teaches a powerful lesson, doesn't it? About being mindful not just of our actions or good deeds, but also the intentions and aspirations we attach to them.
It's presented as absolutely crucial.
The deep dive also offered quite a bit of encouragement for the listener's own spiritual progress, didn't it?
Yes, definitely. Regarding attaining Dhammakaya.
Which refers to the inner Buddha nature, the true self within.
Correct. The case study affirms that with consistent and, importantly, correct practice according to their methods, both he and his wife can indeed attain this inner realization within this lifetime.
That's very hopeful.
It is. And then about reaching higher goals like joining the big teacher, presumably the founder or a key figure in Dusitburi.
Dusitburi. That's another specific celestial realm in this cosmology.
Yes, often described as a special realm where bodhisattvas reside and continue their practice before final enlightenment. It includes the special merit sphere and the bodhisattva realm. To reach this goal, the instruction is quite comprehensive. Fully engage in all forms of merit making.
The three pillars.
The three pillars. Dana, generosity, giving; sila, morality, ethical conduct; and favana, meditation, mental cultivation. All three fully pursued, and again, coupled with a very focused, unwavering aspiration towards that specific goal.
Okay, so it's about total commitment. And then there was this really grand aspiration.
Yeah.
Establishing a meditation center in Paris.
Yes, a big goal. And the advice for achieving that was also quite specific. First, he needs to cultivate his own inner clarity and light. Practice meditation diligently until he experiences what they call the clear Dharma sphere.
The clear sphere of light.
Yes, and the inner Buddha image within himself. This is seen as a source of profound inner joy and power that arises from deep meditation.
So build the inner foundation first.
Exactly, that internal realization that joy and power will then naturally fuel his external efforts. After achieving that inner state, he should then make a strong, continuous aspiration to meet others in France who have made merit with him in past lives.
Ah, finding his past spiritual connections.
Yes, the idea is that these people already share a karmic link and a predisposition towards this path. He needs to aspire to gather them, connect with them, and together establish the center. It's a collective effort rooted in past connections and present aspiration.
What a truly incredible deep dive. I mean, tracing one family's journey through this very specific lens of karma. It's fascinating. From the subtle impacts of different types of alcohol consumption on the brain and future lives, to the long-lasting effects of past misjudgments, like the father's story, and then the really powerful role of aspiration, of focused wishing, in shaping not just your own path, but future connections too. It offers so much to think about.
It really does. And if you connect this to the bigger picture presented here, it underscores that core assertion within this framework. In the end, life depends only on merit and demerit. It's presented not just as a philosophical idea, but almost like a blueprint, a detailed map for understanding why things happen, the good and the bad, and how you might actively shape a better future.
Yeah.
And the level of detail is, frankly, striking. From naming specific post-death realms like Dawadung or the Funtiva state, to these nuanced effects of, a quiet drunk versus an aggressive one, the precision is remarkable.
It certainly makes you pause, doesn't it, to think about our own actions, even seemingly small ones, in such a potentially precise long-term way. This deep dive really reminds us, or suggests, that every action, every intention contributes to our unfolding story. It kind of poses the question back to you, the listener. How consciously are you spending your own accumulated merit in this view? Are you mainly using it just to offset past missteps, maybe without even realizing it? Or are you actively, strategically building it toward your highest aspirations for this life and maybe beyond?
That's a great point. And if even seemingly minor actions, like, say, quiet drunkenness, are presented as having such specific karmic consequences within this detailed system, then how much more impactful could our deliberate acts of generosity, of upholding morality, of dedicated meditation be? Especially when we consciously couple them with those clear, focused aspirations we talked about.
It definitely gives you food for thought, doesn't it?
Yeah.
A different perspective. As always, we hope this deep dive has offered you a shortcut to being well-informed on this particular viewpoint, sparked maybe a few aha moments, and perhaps even inspired you to look at your own life, your own intentions, maybe through a slightly different lens. Until next time, keep exploring, keep questioning, and keep diving deep.